That's what they wouldn't have a problem with.
Good evening. I now call to order the February 19th meeting of the Poquoson Planning Commission. Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Armentrout?
Present.
Commissioner Hartley?
Present.
Commissioner Hirsch?
Present.
Commissioner Peterson?
Present.
Commissioner Yeager?
Present.
Chairwoman Schott?
Present. Thank you so much for that. If you can and you're able, if you could stand this evening as we have our prayer and our Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pray. We thank you for the opportunity to serve our community through this Planning Commission. Grant us wisdom and fairness as we consider the matters before us today. Help us to work in unity, respecting differing viewpoints while remaining focused on the common good. Guide us to listen thoughtfully to the concerns and hopes of our citizens, to make decisions that reflect stewardship, responsibility, and care for the future of this community. May our service be marked by integrity, humility, and a dedication to the public trust. Amen. Commissioner Armentrout, could you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thank you for those that have joined us this evening and have come out in this rainy, nasty weather. So we're glad that you're here this evening. We're going to do things a little bit differently this evening. Our agenda has one item, agenda item F, new business, comprehensive plan amendment. And this is something that Planning Commission has previously considered. City Council spoke about it at its last meeting. And I actually had a conversation with Mayor Hucks last night. So I wanted to share that with my fellow planning commissioners this evening. I have spoken also to Mr. Horton earlier today. He is prepared for what I'm going to share with you this evening. And I'm hoping that this will alleviate some of the concerns by the Oakmore subdivision. And, you know, it becomes on recommendation that we discuss that this evening. So, in looking at this, we have heard some concerns, as you would imagine, about this connecting roadway. If that's the operative word, this is just a plan, if it goes in the comprehensive plan, to go into the Oakmore subdivision. It's a subdivision. It's a stub street. We all understand that. We understand that. But what we've heard and what Mayor Hucks shared with me yesterday evening was we want to preserve the tranquility of that neighborhood. So in addition to other items that Mr. Horton is going to go over tonight that's been remanded back to Planning Commission to consider, I would like to ask that Planning Commission also takes into consideration that this roadway, and stop me how I phrase this if I'm improper, that is proposed, it is a plan, it may or may not come to fruition, no plans on the books, that it extend from Legacy Boulevard that currently exists with a street light across the property, bypassing Oakmore in that subdivision, should environmental concerns not say, you know, it has to go. There's a lot of should and would. We don't know that. We don't know with that environmental impact assessment. But when we're talking about this evening, and I do see several of our residents this evening tonight here, and I know we have a packed agenda, I wanted to be able to address this concern first, going forward, having this conversation, and then we will proceed into the public hearing portion of the meeting, if that is okay with the fellow commissioners.
Yes.
Essentially what the City Council remanded to the Planning Commission does not differ a whole lot from what was presented to the Council in joint work session back in December. The big change, I think, being what Ms. Schott just alluded to, is that we would not mention Oakmore or, and we would mention Yorktown as far as legacy should continue Yorktown. I mean, again, it's a guidance document, so that's the kind of language we use. The city council did agree that the research R&D district should be redesignated to general commercial. And I think it's number 4 where we've got to, we need to do some work on number 3 and number 4, make sure it threads with the city council's directive on. We are going to call it Big Woods North. The development style should be exclusive. Should be planned in much in the way that a master plan would be. But obviously, before that happens, there'll have to be a lot of conversations with the property owners.
Correct.
And that sort of thing. So, I mean, that's basically what we'll get, and we'll talk more about it in March, I'm sure. One of the things that I also wanted to point out was that the City Council came down with some recommendations for the planned open space conservation overlay district. Now, those would have the effect of basically tightening our regulations on the planned open space, but still making it an affordable and attractive alternative to what we might consider the cookie cutter type subdivisions. So one of the things that I was going to do before we meet again, and we can have a public March, there's no reason we really can't. But one of the things I want to do is look at some of our existing planned open space and get an idea of how these regulations would affect it. Essentially, we're still keeping the carrot of allowing some lots on private streets. And to me, that's a big carrot. We'll reduce the number, not 10, maybe 5, maybe 4, something like that. The intent, I'm going down here a little bit, I apologize for that, but very small print. Permitted land uses, they'll spell out that. They already do, actually. General dimension, lot size, and design requirements. There was some talk about doing some work on that. The lot size is a 1/4 acre right now. What I think really will come to the fore is the open space. How we calculate open space. Right now, with the amendments that we did last year, we count open space, but you can only count up to 50% of your non-tidal wet open space, and the rest of it has to remain undisturbed. There is an opinion out there that maybe we shouldn't count any of that as open space. So, as far as for density calculations, that sort of thing. So, basically, we'll be going down these changes, and I expect to have a full report for you in March, how these would affect our existing ordinance. We'll let our citizens weigh in as well and know what's going on.
So, I'm going to go around and just see if any of the commissioners have any other comments on this. Do you?
I think what you said makes sense as far as using, where the light's already at, and
Right.
I mean that. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm for it.
Have your guidance for future meetings, and now
Yes,
we'll.
I do. Thank you.
Yes, you do. So we took care of that. We're gonna.
Can we skip approval of the minutes?
To that.
Gotcha.
So, thank you for that, and thank you for taking this out of order, and I apologize to those that this may hold up, but I'm hoping that that helps alleviate any concerns. We are going to now move to item C of our agenda. Thank you for that. And we do have one change with the name that has already been brought to Ms. St. Pierre's attention, and she will correct that. Is there any additional changes this evening that the commission would like to? If not, can I have a motion, please? And
A motion to approve.
have a second?
Second.
Have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Armentrout,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartley,
Yes.
Commissioner Hirsch,
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson,
Aye.
Commissioner Yeager,
Aye.
Chairwoman Schott.
Aye, and this is being approved as amended with that change.
That's correct. The motion passes.
Thank you. We are going to transition now to our audience for visitors, and this is a time when our audience can come speak about anything that's not related to any of our public hearings this evening. So if you have an item that you would like to come up and speak to, please feel free to. If it's regarding the public hearing, please hold your comments until that time. Would anybody like to speak? Seeing none, I'm going to close the audience for visitors. We are now going to transition to our public hearing, and that would be under item E. And this is the first public hearing is for Bob W. Moses and Fountains of
Yes, the Fountains of
I can't
Poquoson.
talk all of a sudden. Apologize.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I want to make just a few notes before we get in to the presentation. You'll notice a green tab in your documents there, your packet. That is to point you for ease of pointing to where the actual staff report and the approval resolutions are. Instead of combing all through the documents, we thought it might be a little bit easier to get you in that area. I am going to give a presentation. Mr. Moses is going to give a presentation, and of course, we'll answer any questions you might have. And after that, I want to point out that Mr. Bailey is here, who was principally involved in the preparation of the TIA. So hopefully we got everybody on board to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, and Mr. Horton, if we could pause on you at this podium so commission can ask you questions before
Absolutely.
we transition over. Okay, great. Thank you.
Absolutely. This is a conditional rezoning application from Village Commercial to R3 residential. That's the highest density residential district that we have. These involve four tax pin numbers: 2710 00 0005 and 2709 00002 on the, I guess you'd say, the east side of the EDA pond, and 2701 000087 and 270001, 00086. 0086 is actually owned by Albert Sidney White. He is a part of this rezoning application. The proposal is for use on the east side of the pond as 38 townhomes, and on the west side of the EDA pond would be for 28 duplex units. Not houses, but 28 actual units. The application was advertised for public hearing on February 4th and February 11th of 2026. Adjoining notice letters were mailed out on the 4th of February 2026. The overall site has not been developed in accord with Mr. Moses' past approvals. Most recently, it was used as a laydown yard. If you've been by the property, and I've got some pictures later, the front part, or I'll say, since I've started this east side of the EDA pond, I'll continue with that, is pretty much cleared, although it's looks fairly neat, but it is cleared. The back two parcels, which were the old Phase 4, and Mr. White's property is wooded. I'd say well wooded at this point. The parcels are bordered by village commercial zoning to the west and extreme northwest. Village commercial in the area of building number 1, which is the one building that has been built. B2 with Poquoson Shopping Center and a grassed area. And you've got TJ's and Langley is general commercial. TJ's is business, B2 business. The remaining parcels along the east side are in B2 zoning. They're across from With Creek Road. On the extreme south is an R3 area for the Oxford Muse LLC. It's a community down there as well. All right, this is the access off of Alphas. If you remember from your TIA, and I know it's a big document, but there was going to be a new road coming off of With Creek Road. There is going to be some spillover into this area, exiting and entering off of Alpha Street. You can see building number 1 there, and you see basically the gravel that is the area where that access would be. Site of the future townhomes, east side of the pond. As I said, it is kind of cleared off. You can see that from the photos there. And this is your vicinity map. And if you look at the vicinity map closely, you can kind of see what's underneath these zoning districts. But the properties with stars on them are the properties that are part of this rezoning request to conditional use R3. The properties, and I'll get my pointer out here. New technology. These are the site of the townhomes, and this will be the duplexes back in the rear. Past history. I don't want to weigh y'all down with a whole lot of past history, but just suffice it to say there's been a lot of activity on these parcels over the years. And I tried to do what the culminating action was for each one of these properties. Rezoning was approved in 2012 to rezone, if I can go backwards just a little bit, maybe I can, to basically rezone this area up here to village commercial. It did pass. There was also a comprehensive plan that was done as part of the same meeting that redesignated this entire area as village commercial. As far as there was another rezoning that really affected this property down here. It went from B2 to village commercial. It was done in 2016. I should back up just a little bit by saying the actions in 2002 included a conditional use permit that allowed for residential over commercial, more than one story, a second one there. That one was extended to 2019 and extended again to September of 2021. So again, that's expired. Okay, so as we move along with past history, the CUPs for phase 3 and 4 are likewise, they're all expired as well. But just so you know, we did pass those back in February of 2020, and they started off several iterations of both phase 3 and phase 4. They started off as allowing, a 2-to-1 ratio in the same building. Sort of over time, it became that these CUPs allowed for separate residential and separate commercial buildings as long as the 2-to-1 ratio of residential to commercial was maintained. Basically, there's no longer any consideration of commercial units. All past exhibits will be replaced by the concept layout shown in Mr. Moses's proposed PowerPoint, which you'll see in a few minutes. It is an entirely new direction for the development of the area, necessitating this conditional rezoning proposal from VC to R3. This will have the effect of resetting the area with one proposal instead of many. Frankly, that's been a bit confusing. This is the last rezoning amendment that we did back in February of 2020. And I'll show you this, basically, and this did not come out great on this thing. I think it comes out better in your packet. But what it shows is it shows a pretty large area of impervious surface, with the exception of the area in the front, which was denoted wetlands at the time, and of course Mr. White's property that was never a part of his proposal until tonight. So, you know, what I would say is I haven't put a pencil to it to see exactly how much impervious area was on this plan because we never did get a site plan approved. We got one in, we had comments, but we never got it back. But I think what you'll see from Mr. Moses' proposal is an attempt, a good attempt, I think, to meet the R3 zoning requirements. If approved by City Council after recommendation of the Planning Commission, the new zoning of R3 conditional zone would permit the townhouses and duplexes. The applicant is not required to go to the ARB for the reason that if this rezoning passes, it will be residentially zoned property, and residentially zoned property is not doesn't fall under the ARB's jurisdiction. Mr. Moses has added as a proper condition that the layout in all units will be consistent with the architectural drawings, which he'll show you in a minute, submitted by the applicants. The applicant has also submitted a request for comprehensive plan amendment. I will show that separately, but just understand for now that it will go to high-density residential if it's approved, ultimately. And I just want to say one thing about a high-density residential. R3 is the highest density that we allow, and that is up to 12 units per acre with open space provisions and that sort of, and of course parking. And that will be assessed at the site plan. But again, a high density is not 30 units per acre or anything like that. I just wanted to make that clear. Ingress and egress considerations. The site is accessed directly off of With Creek Road and from Alpha Street, as I explained a little bit earlier. The entrance from With Creek Road will be via an access serving the east side of the development, the 38 townhomes. Of course, as I said before, there will be some spillover into that entrance off of Alpha Street, which is close to building number 1. The second access for the 28 duplexes will extend from the existing Alpha Street into the duplex development via an approximate 24-foot roadway with gutters. In sum, the submitted traffic impact analysis assumes all of the traffic coming off of With Creek Road. Ultimately, this is true. In talking with Mr. Moses and later confirmed by Mr. Bailey, the preparer of the TIA, I was a little puzzled when I saw that statement in the TIA, so I said, well, you know, what about Alpha Street? Well, it assumes With Creek because Alpha Street goes into With Creek. And so the assumption is, and Mr. Bailey's on hand if you have any additional questions about the TIA, That's basically why that statement was there. All the traffic, to my understanding, has been okayed as part of the traffic impact analysis. Boy, this is really bad. Well, you can see the existing roadway. This is a plan that Mr. Moses has in better detail, but that's the roadway coming off With Creek Road. It is 24 foot wide with radii of 25 feet. These are the townhomes. You can see those there. 38 of them. And going across the road, you can see the duplex units, two apiece. And this roadway is a 24-foot roadway with curb and gutter as well. Site of for the future duplexes, this is the west side of the EDA pond. You can see that these properties are wooded. Both Mr. Moses and Mr. White's property. Should the Planning Commission make an approval recommendation, staff does recommend that it include the following conditions proffered by the applicant or owner. And if you'll forgive me, I will read those out. 55 and over, age-restricted ownership. Granted a future 20-foot wide easement in the area shown on the presentation by Robert Moses, which we'll see in a minute. Consider the Alfred Street Extension Corridor on tax map number 2701-0086 and 2701-0087 for lining up the yet to be determined 20-foot wide driveway coming from the parcel to the west, which is owned by Iowa LLC, and they did get a conditional use permit for a gun range, among other things. As long as it's also aligned with the Alpha Street Extension Corridor. The applicant will provide a connector easement to connect the properties on the west side of the EDA pond to the properties of the east side of the EDA pond. It's important for me to point out that it stands on its own, though. The two parcels to the west and the two parcels to the east stand on their own in meeting the R3 requirements. The overall layout, including all constructed buildings, will be in conformance with the proposed layout and architectural renderings submitted as part of the development. And at that point, I will stop and I'll answer any questions you have before Mr. Moses takes a stand.
Does 55 and over have any real teeth to it? Like that can, I mean,
Well, it's a proper condition. If he doesn't go by that, then that throws his whole rezoning into limbo. But that, again, that was voluntarily proffered by the applicant, and so we took it at face value, 55 and over. There will be some, obviously there'll be some documentation. Not everybody who's 55 looks 55, so, they'll need to know what the age is going in.
Is there some core architectural plan for that area? That I noticed that if this goes through, that there will be no architectural review board requirement, but is there a plan in place for that area that?
Well, what we have proposed, and as part of the property here, is that the materials that were submitted as part of this application, which again, I'll probably fuse these two reports together, but Mr. Moses will be showing you some architectural renderings, and what the applicant has done is proffered that he will be in conformance with those renderings. So, I mean, basically, if you like the drawings, they look good to you, then that's the architectural review board. That is the architectural review that we're going to have. If you don't like them, then of course you're free to do that as well.
Well, I got a question about the turnaround, cul-de-sac turnaround, if you will. Thinking about, I think the city fire department has recently acquired a large fire truck.
Yes.
And just looking, thinking about the turnaround space, if needed, for a vehicle of that size. And I think If I remember correctly, the height of those townhouses is somewhere around 33 feet.
Yeah, they're
33,
two-story.
35, two-story.
Right.
So I guess the chances of it, of the big fire truck going down there if need be, just making sure, I guess, thinking ahead.
Well, we
with
tried
it.
to plan a turnaround, and we did this in the pre-application meetings. That was one of the things that we pointed out, is that we would need to make
Yeah.
sure we had enough access turnaround. And, you know, perhaps Mr. Moses can speak to that as
Yeah.
well.
And the connector, if you will, is that a walking path? Or will that be a
It's basically going
road
to be a
or
walking
both?
path.
Or
It's not going to be used by vehicles.
Okay.
It's just basically going to be a walking path.
Gravel, dirt,
Serves as a connector, basically.
crush and run,
Yeah.
concrete, all right.
Well, I'd like to add to Mr. Hartley's comment about the 55 and over stairs, and as a 55 and over community, I wonder if that's fact that particular market with stairs. At that age, that would not be something I would be looking.
Right.
Be looking at a change in that in the future if it's not successful.
Well,
in that market.
that's always possible that it could submit a rezoning amendment. But again, you know, it'd have to go through all the proper, you know, scrutiny by the Planning Commission and the City Council. But as it stands right now, it's 55 and over. The applicant feels like he can sell this. Now, he can speak to that a little bit better than I can, but
Interested in how the residents getting in and out onto With Creek is going to work out. I think that maybe that discussion can happen with Mr. Moses' proposal.
okay.
Moses, if you'd like to come up.
Let me set you up here, Bob. I'll set you up here with the slides.
And thank you all for the opportunity to speak with you tonight about this proposal. I'd like to give you a brief summary of what we've gone through in this development. I bought the first piece of land in 2012, and that was along the west side of the pond, and then we moved forward with building 1 at the head of the pond. And it took us quite some time to get village commercial going in the city because there was no comps. The banks and lending the money, we were fortunate enough to get a lending for building 1 construction from Virginia Company Bank because many of those board members were from Poquoson. While we were constructing the building for occupancy in 2016, Virginia Company Bank changed hands twice. And so we continued to move forward and try to get building 2 done. We never were successful to get building 2 under construction. We got close and then COVID hit. And each time we had struggle with how the development of village commercial was set up. So one of the things we had to do and come back for permission from the city was, instead of having all the buildings on 1 tract of land, we were going to divide it up into individual lots per building. So we got that approved. I had some interest in the all commercial building about where the 2 is on there 3 times. We even redesigned the building, did a little site plan development to show that it would work for businesses here in town that wanted to move. And when it was time to get letters of intent to move in and occupy so that we could get the lending from the banks, we did not get the letters. So those entities have now moved. One entity has moved into a smaller space over here, and that's Truist Bank. So we've just haven't been able to get the commercial underway. So I came back a number of times to try to just get the CUP extended to be able to have a little more time to work with clients, potential clients, but we never could get it going. The CUPs expired in July, And when I came over to meet with Wally and his team, I explained to them that we were just not successful in getting the commercial to go. And so the suggestion was, well, what if you get rid of the commercial? And so we started looking at that from an R3 perspective, and that's what I'm going to present to you. It's basically getting rid of the commercial component and staying below the units per acre that was already allowed under the village commercial.
Okay, did you want to
Yep.
speak to this?
Yeah, so Wally had already gone through where the tracks are located. The R3 considerations are 35-foot height to mid-roof, 12 units per acre maximum, 20-foot setback from the rear property line, and then 20 feet between buildings. So some of the additional considerations were landscaping buffer in the rear of the buildings, and we certainly have the pond in the back, so we're going to put forward the landscaping plan once we really get a little further along with the site development plan. And instead of dumpsters like we have at the building at 200 Fountains Lane, we like to do individual unit trash. Also, we had to consider the fire truck turnaround at the end of the long driveway on the west side of the pond. And we understand that there's going to be or possibly a 20-foot wide easement coming from the property to the west of us to connect with Alpha Street. So we were simply going to say, okay, we'll try to match up whatever that 20-foot comes in as that site gets developed. We'll try to bring it into our driveway, whatever that looks like, as long as it stays in that Alpha Street corridor, which is about a 40 or 50-foot wide strip of land. The proposed floor plans for the townhouses on the east side of the pond is basically a 35-foot deep by 24-foot wide, two-story, age restricted, no garage, a main floor master, because that's what folks my age like. And I have no trouble with stairs, and if some of the clients want to get one of the lifts that goes on the staircase, they can certainly install one of those. And we meet the setbacks. In terms of two-family dwellings, it's a little different footprint, but it's still a nice, roomy dwelling, 31 foot deep by 85, and since there's two of them, it's 85 feet wide for the two. Two-story, age-restricted, no garage, again, a main floor master suite, and we meet the setbacks. So I'll give you some more details about the townhouses on the east side of the pond. Oh, no, go back up, please.
So you want to look at the townhouses, and that's further down here a little bit. There we go.
Okay. So we've got 6 two-story buildings, varied from 4 units per building to 7 units and 9 units. It's the whole site of these two parcels is about 4 acres. We have about 46% green space total, and not counting the green space that's in the setback, we have about 32% green space. The impervious cover in term for the stormwater usage of the pond, if you'll scroll down just a little bit, please, Wally. It's a little over 2 acres. We have 99 parking spaces, more than enough. And let's see what else. Yeah, I'll get to the total units in a bit. Let's go on.
Okay.
The architectural.
You want to speak to?
I'm sorry. Well,
I've got architectural next. If you want to talk about that, but it's up to you. You tell me where you want me to go.
yeah. So this is the front elevation. These are some of the front elevation facades we put in there with parking in front of the units, age-restricted sidewalks, connected development. Go ahead on the next one. This is the rear elevation where it's a roomy outdoor living. There's a separate attached shed utility room for a lawnmower or putting your lawn chairs or tables away during the storm. Go ahead to the next one, please. And here's just some additional facades that we're kicking around, and we can certainly look at others just to increase the curb appeal of the units. Next one, please. and the first floor and second floors. The first floor has a downstairs master, and then the staircase goes up to 2 bedrooms with a Jack and Jill bath, and plenty of closet space. Then the 2 family dwellings on the west side, this 2 long strip. We have 14 buildings, 2 units per, and then we have the long road down the middle with the cul-de-sac at the end. We meet the 20-foot setback. And in terms of, scroll up just a little bit, Wally.
Sure.
Yeah, the total acreage is a little over 5 acres. We have about 60% green space total, or about 45%, not counting what's in the setbacks around the perimeter. And our impervious cover on this is around 2 acres as well, and we have about 58 parking spaces. Okay, next. And we've looked at several different facades and concepts for the curb appeal, and we show 2 buildings with 2 different concepts on how the interior can be, and that's the rear of them. Got a little undercover type patio area, and then you got the big sunroom in the back. Go ahead. There's some additional facades to consider. And keep going, Wally, please. And then this is the first floor is up on the top piece, and the upstairs is on the bottom piece. It's a pretty open floor plan with a downstairs master. Thank you, Wally. So how do we all sum up? As Wally mentioned, 12 units per acre is the maximum allowed. For the previous plans I had was around 9 units per acre. And so that would have given me 81 units if I wanted to come back with that same number of residential units that were allowed on the village commercial. But instead, we're only proposing 66 total units, which is about 7.5 units per acre. So we're a little, maybe 60% of what is the maximum allowed with the 38 townhouses and the 28 two-family dwellings. A traffic impact assessment, Wally mentioned some of that, and Mike Bailey's here to address any questions you have on that. But other than cutting in the new entrance onto Wythe Creek Road on the east side for the townhouses, that's the only modification to Wythe Creek Road that would be required for this. And of course, adding the driveway from the west just to get into the two-family dwellings, that's just a simple modification to Alpha Street. And again, regarding tying into the property to the west, this 0.22 acre strip is the what I call the Alpha Street corridor that heads west. And again, we're willing to set aside whatever to tie into what the 20-foot road or driveway that we hear is coming in, potentially coming in from the property to the west. And any questions and answers session.
Yes, I'm first. Thank you. I'm interested in what the traffic analysis found in relation to people getting in and out of there on Wythe Creek. So if it were me and I was turning left, like when I'm leaving Langley Federal, it's a bit of a challenge depending on the time of day. So, and I don't know if that's within scope of the traffic analysis or out, that question, but any thoughts?
Yeah, Mr. Peterson, Mike Bailey conducted the TIA, and he's here to answer any questions you have.
Super. Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Mike Bailey with Grove Slade Associates. I'm the transportation engineer. If you have to answer any questions, I'll start with you, Mr. Peterson. I don't know if you have, I assume you have the document in your folder. So as part of this, we did do an AM and PM peak hour analysis, which is standard for the busiest times of the day, morning and evening rush hour. We found, and I can point to it in the document if you'd like, but we did a turn lane warn analysis to see if any off-site improvements were needed at either of the intersections on Wythe Creek. In addition to that, we did level of service delay and queuing. These are measures basically of efficiency for ingress and egress of the site. At the You're speaking specifically, I believe, to the new full movement driveway on With Creek. Yeah, so the northbound left movement, those are A's and B's, which are really good levels of service. Levels of service are measured A through F, F being oversaturated. C is what we designed for, so this would be an underutilized or under capacity movement. So if you were to look in your packet, it would be page 16 of the TIA. If you look in the top right-hand corner, you'll see the page numbers. And we're looking at the bottom of that page at table 5 specifically.
Excuse me.
Are you with me?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so table 5, the title of that, excuse me, is With Creek Road, the proposed full movement driveway. It's the one we're speaking about. And then in the second column, you'll see lane group. You've got the northbound left, the NBL. That would be the movement coming north on With, taking the left into the site. So that'd be a form of ingress. And you can see in the morning, it's a level of service A, and also in the PM. So it's as good as it gets. The average car would have a delay of about 10 seconds in the morning, and in the evening would have an average delay of about 8 seconds.
I'm going to ask you to sit down while we continue talking to Mr. Moses first, and then if we'll call you back up here if you don't mind.
Sure.
Thank you. That was helpful. Appreciate it.
Mr. Peterson, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The pond that, I guess, sits kind of in the middle of the two developments, if you will, between the duplexes and the townhouses. From thinking about safety, I guess, or do you have any plans about adding any type of fencing around that, or anything that may prevent some type of a accident occurring from a resident? Because I believe they do back up, some of those duplexes are going to back up to that water, and same with the townhouses. Is that a concern or a thought, or leaving them as is?
This topic has come up in previous hearings, and first of all, the stormwater pond's owned by the EDA, and it's to only be used for putting stormwater in there. So there's not supposed to be any recreational uses. People aren't even supposed to be going to the water's edge in the first place. So that's one constraint, but I understand your concern for safety. What we've done for the building that's there now, the tenants acknowledge that the stormwater pond is not on our property, and it's for stormwater, not for entertainment purposes, and that they're at their own risk for that. So that's all we've done at the moment. We haven't put any physical barriers. We brought that up in the past for putting physical barriers, but then it would deter maintaining the pond for the stormwater features. So it presents an obstacle. So those are certainly a valid issue. We could have discussions on that and see where it goes, but I understand your concern.
There's no community center that I've heard mentioned, shared area space, building-wise, or is
Yeah,
there?
There is, and that was the reason for that connector
Okay.
easement from the duplexes over to the townhouse area. There's a clubhouse.
Okay.
Thank you. For the townhouse plot, please. Apologize for not pointing that out earlier.
Sorry, everybody. There we go.
Across the driveway from the 4-unit building is a clubhouse. That's a common area for them to meet. And then this huge grassy area that runs behind Langley Federal Credit Union and TJ's. The property for TJ's is not current. As you know, the building's in the back where we've got the blank space there, and all where the building is, that's all new parking lot. So that's going to be probably the largest component of the outdoor grassy area. And the purpose for the clubhouse is so that all the residents can have monthly meetings and gatherings, and also put up a few wedding tents along that grass and really have a nice party if they wanted to, outdoor events.
It looks like you have some visitor parking there near it, in case, for what you just said. Yeah.
Parking that's just by virtue that building 2 of the fountains was going where the 4 units were shown. So we had plenty extra parking there as you come into the property from Alpha Street. And that'll be great, because those parking spaces would be dedicated to the clubhouse and use of the common area, that largest common area.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't see a way to enter from With Creek and be able to stay on a path that would take you over on the other side of the pond, which would be the western side. Is there a way to do that? There's not. You'd have to turn around and come back out on With Creek?
No, you go right onto Alpha Street.
Okay.
And take a left onto Alpha Street, go around the front of the existing building and turn left right into the
So you would leave the development and come back into the development if you come in off With Creek? Okay.
Yeah, and that's what Mr. Horton was talking about earlier, about it's really
Right.
2 separate developments, and we're just going to connect them so we can take advantage of the common area for all of them.
All right, thanks, that helps. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you. What are the heights of the townhomes in the front? I know that it said within limits, but do you have a rough idea? It looked like they might have been 25, 30 feet, something like that.
Well, my architect is here, Greg Krasinski. Greg, you remember what the height are here? It's like 24 to 25 feet.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're well below the height.
Do you happen to have any renderings of what those buildings in the front would look like as you're driving down With Creek? I'm just curious what's on the end of those 2 9-unit buildings. I don't know if you have any rendering. If they're in the packet and I missed them, I apologize. I just didn't see anything that looked.
Let's see if we can get maybe on the next one down, the rear one, maybe we can get an end view. Okay, we can barely get an end view. There's going to be a window there trimmed out with siding. And they'll be able to see some concept. Well, coming from the south, you probably see some of this, like it is here from an isometric perspective, and then you pass the buildings, and then you'll see the front from the corner, but those sides it'll complement what you see here in terms of the color scheme. And
Thank you.
Package, so I don't have any questions. Thank you.
I don't have anything.
I have a couple. How is your 55 and older going to be enforced?
well, it's going to be ownership.
So they are going to be owners and not rentals, correct?
Well, that's what I understand is the ownership has to be 55 or older. There is an opportunity for, and we brought this up in the discussions, that what if the person living there needs to have someone living there? Do they have to be 55 years of age? The answer was no. So if you need an in-house care, or you got some family members living with you to help you get around, or whatever the situation is. So not every occupant has to be over 55.
Correct. I understand that, but was curious about that. And you talk about an outdoor event space, have tents and all of that. Who's going to oversee that? Are you going to have?
Well, the tenants will do that. They'll have their own community and their own property agreement for how the common space is managed. So I was just suggesting that's what they could do if they wanted to, if they all decide they want to have a little party, they could, there's plenty of space is what I'm getting at. That'd be totally up to them.
Can we open the public hearing?
Sure.
We're going to open the public hearing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do we have anybody who would like to speak regarding this application this evening? You raise your hand. Yes, sir.
I'm John, and
If you can come to the podium, so the viewing audience at home can hear you. Thank you.
okay, yeah, my name's John, and I live just a couple miles from here, and had a couple questions. It was raised about enforcement of, or who would be responsible for the common area and whatnot. Is this going to be an HOA kind of community, or?
So
Just-
what we would like for you to do is, this is your time. If you want to ask your questions, we can call Mr. Moses back up here and have him answer those, and staff can also help with those. But right now, this is your time to speak regarding that.
Okay, well then, this is my first time doing this, so I can express concerns or
Yes,
whatnot.
absolutely.
Okay, so, yeah, I wasn't a real fan of the Legacy project. I lived in Poquoson now for, I believe it's about 17, 18 years. One of the reasons I moved here was it's just a beautiful place, and lots of trees and water and all that. And so I see that slowly disappearing, and it's very unfortunate. And the wildlife and just the trees are coming down, and it's just disheartening. But the other thing that Legacy brought, I feel, and this might aggravate it, is I know there are traffic studies about going on Wythe Creek Road, but as for those of us who exit Poquoson to work in Hampton or Yorktown or whatnot, the traffic has really blown up on Victory, and so this will add to it. And I think if you work in Hampton and you go down further Wythe Creek Road and over the bridge or the causeway there, that's going to be backed up, in my opinion. And I think the intersection at Wythe Creek and Victory, I think that'll really back up off of the Wythe Creek end. I know it's only 66 units or whatever, but I'm guessing that's probably about 120, 140 cars, something like that. So, yeah, those are my concerns as far as the traffic. It's more than just getting out on Wythe Creek Road, which is a challenge in itself. I think it just bleeds into more on Victory and Wythe Creek going into Hampton, and then just whether it's an HOA or not, and just about the, shall we say, the image for Poquoson and making sure that it's a natural community and so on. And I just think we're losing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Chairwoman, I have a question for Mr. John.
Oh, yes.
May I have your last name, sir?
Oh, sure. Last name is Foden, F-O-D-E-N. Foden.
F-O-D-E-N. And what's your address, sir?
1 Barrel Factory Court.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Horton.
I was just going to say, as part of the site plan process, which Mr. Moses will need to go through, if there are areas of common area that's being managed by a homeowners association, we're going to want a copy of those documents as part of that.
Who else would like to speak this evening? Yes, sir.
My name is Rob Carter. Just a quick question regarding ownership that maybe he can answer. You're saying they have to be owned by someone who's 65 or older. 55. Sorry. But will there be some kind of, in the purchase or whatever, that they can't rent, lease, or use it as like a B&B where people could be less than 55? So I'm just curious about that, because that seems to be happening a lot. People are investing in properties, but then not living there. So.
Mr. Carter, may I have your address, please?
Yeah, I'm at 11 Oakmore.
Who else would like to speak?
Randy Neal, 7 Oakmore. I just wanted to echo support that we all moved to Poquoson because it's a warm community. We want it to remain that way. I was interested in, it would be a question Right now, the traffic patterns are altered. We all know that through detours because of the Wyeth Creek Bridge. And I'm wondering if that could affect the traffic studies. I don't know when those traffic studies were done, but if they were done this year, you already know the pattern's been altered. Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing no one else, I'm going to close the public hearing regarding the traffic impact studies. If I can get you to come back up here. I will share with you in our packet the traffic impact studies as well as some other commissioners have shared. They were very hard to read. With the colors, that text to me was a little unrecognizable at times.
Okay, sorry about that.
One thing that I did note was in your VDOT, it looks like it's a Chapter 527 study, traffic impact pre-scope work.
You're talking about in the appendix?
Yes. Was at 34 townhomes and 12 duplex.
That's correct.
Okay, but what you all are proposing is 38 townhomes and 28 duplexes.
Sure. So that form is just a standard form that we use for scoping. There's a lot of assumptions, growth rates, what area we're going to study, all that. So when we first reached out to staff to scope the document to make sure that we were on the same page, it was a smaller development at the time. It increased, I think, 14 units, whatever the delta is between those two. And so we revised that. And if I may address the gentleman's concern.
Yes, please.
I assume that would be coming up next.
Yes, sir.
So the traffic counts were conducted last year. Again, we've been doing this for a while. It was in September, the middle of September last year.
Okay. Were they done over multiple days?
No.
Just one day?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're conducted typically on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions about the traffic study?
Or does that answer your question? Yes.
Just a quick overall question. The scope of the study, was it primarily focused on just the ingress and egress from the study site, yes?
Correct.
Okay.
Just one thought here. 66 units. My guess is it would be approximately 2 cars per unit or slightly less than that. Does that sound about right?
So it's a little different than that. So
Okay.
we use something called the ITE, or Institute of Transportation Engineers. That's a federal standard that for all states, this is what VDOT uses. Everyone's adopted it. In this case, we're using the most current, the 11th edition. And what they've done is since the 1970s, they've surveyed sites with different land uses. And so based on whatever land use it is, based on square footage or number of fueling positions at a gas station, what have you, they can tell you what the average trip generation is for that. So that's what's based on it. And if you look at there's a trip generation table. If you look at page 11, it's going to be table 2, and you'll see the heading is ITE trip generation, typical weekday 11th edition. What you'll see there is the land use code 215, which is single family attached, which is what this would fall into. There's not a differentiation between condos, townhomes, duplexes, whatever. They're still considered single family attached dwelling units. You'll see what the site would produce per day, and the AM peak hour, and then the PM peak hour. And that gives you also the breakdown between ingress and egress, and that's where those numbers came from. These are just sort of standard methodology things we do across the board. Any other questions?
Thank you. Wait.
Speaking to the 10 seconds for the cars leaving and 8 seconds or coming back, I mean, but it's fair to assume that that builds on each one, right? I mean, 10 seconds for that car, 10 seconds behind the car behind that.
No, sir.
10 no?
So that's the average. So the easiest way to, I think, explain it would be kind of like a stoplight. You might be approaching a stoplight and it's green, and you have no delay. You just sail right through. I might get there, my luck, and it's just turning yellow, and so I have to sit for the full cycle. I might wait 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes for that total cycle to go through. But if you average us together, that's where you would get the delay from. Same with this. If there was a gap in traffic, someone may not even stop. They might just make the left or the right, depending on which way we talked about the left earlier for the 10 seconds. Or you may actually be there 15, 20 seconds if the light to the north, for instance, were to release a platoon of vehicles coming south. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Mr. Moses. There were two questions asked by citizens. Would you care to address those, please?
Yeah, so I think Mr. Horton addressed the HOA. If we do have a homeowners association, which I'm anticipating we will, then there will be an agreement that all the owners buy into and have to sign upon purchase or closing on the purchase of the property. And
About home ownership versus rentals, being able to rent out.
right, so the idea is to not to have a whole family living there, not to have children living there. We are not putting a playground there for children, and we don't anticipate buses there. I'm not sure how to tell an owner they can't have someone younger than 55 living there unless there's some type of, I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I'm open to suggestions, but
Additionally, I think the gentleman also asked about those being used as a B&B and rentals for short-term rentals, I think is what he's referring to. Would you care to speak to that?
we don't seek that use. And so if we need to put something in the HOA or whatever legal document that's allowed by law, I'll have to consult an attorney as to what we're allowed to put into there, but Wally?
We also passed an ordinance last year,
Right,
short-term rentals, that basically made it a conditional use
right,
district, only this would not be a business.
right. But wanted to capture the citizens' concerns, so.
Sure.
Is that good? Okay, thank you. I'm going to close the public hearing. Love to hear your thoughts.
I really appreciate that a lot of work has been done in this project. And I think it's going to be fairly attractive to live as a pedestrian that close to the cafe, the bank, the grocery store. So that brings something positive to the community that we have very much of, not in quantity. Legacy is a little bit of a trek from walking position, so I think it actually will be a very special environment for people to live in. So we want to consider supporting.
Edgar?
I spent quite a bit of time today looking at the comprehensive plan and specifically the housing section and the strategies and recommendations associated with the Central District. And it was mentioned several times about the need for housing for citizens that are over the age of 65 or 55, or the desire. That resonated with me. And affordable housing, that's a big topic nationwide. So I think it checks the box for those two. This land has been sitting here for quite some time now, and appears to be a pretty solid plan to put it to good use. So with that being said, I'm like Mr. Peterson.
I echo my fellow commissioners' comments. It looks like it's well thought out and certainly has some level of attractiveness. I do have a pretty significant concern about the architectural aspects and what it does to the feel of the area, given that it was meant to be a commercial area, and particularly that the spot, the means of ingress and egress right at With Creek, where those buildings, those townhomes come up. So that's kind of where I'm stuck with that, with how to figure that out. I think that's kind of my sticking point right now.
This is a difficult one because anyone that invests in our town is a hero to me, and I know it's hard. It's hard everywhere, and I understand that you have tried to build commercial, there, and it hasn't worked out. With that said, we have specific zoning in specific areas for specific reasons, and I don't see how what I'm seeing here fits what we've been trying to do. I hear the whole affordable housing thing. I didn't hear that at all come up in any of the presentation. And let's face it. I mean, it's going to sell. Anything here is going to sell for as much as they can sell it for. And that right now, the going rate seems to be about $500,000 in Poquoson. So, and as far as the taxing goes, we make way more money off of a commercial entity than we would a home. I mean, that's just a mathematical fact. And school. I mean, this obviously won't affect. Supposed to be 55 and over, which I'm not hearing too much about how that's going to be enforced, but it's not going to bring more kids in. I know the school is way under. Legacy only brought in like less than 50 kids over 3 schools, so I just don't see how this fits what we're trying to do. That's just where I stand on it.
Well, I certainly appreciate the time and the money that you've invested in this application. I probably understand that probably more than anyone. And I also understand the frustrations you've probably felt over the years trying to market this parcel. But I'm a very staunch fan of commercial development in Poquoson, and we need it. I know it's hard to get it here. I haven't seen a good effort put forth for anyone to really market that from my perspective, and specifically your parcel, Mr. Moses. I think it's probably the best opportunity for any future commercial development to come into the city anytime soon. And I would hate to relinquish that to more residential development. Unfortunately, I can't offer my approval application. So,
I'm trying to get my thoughts together as to what I'm going to say. I looked at your application. You can tell with all the flags here. And I understand everything that you presented tonight. Your presentation is good, and I appreciate that, because quite often we don't all get that. However, I can't support your application this evening. Other commissioners. So
Commissioner Armentrout?
I'm sorry, do we need to make a motion?
Just the motion is denied. I'm sorry. Please forgive my ignorance. I
Okay.
don't know what to do in this case.
We have a motion right now, a motion for approval. Which obviously is not going to pass. I can see that. But there are some people for it. Perhaps they could motion second it, and then
Correct.
we could all have a vote.
correct. Right.
Thank you.
So can I have a motion?
So moved.
And that is that a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a roll call, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Armentrout?
Nay.
Commissioner Hartley?
Nay.
Commissioner Hirsch?
No.
Commissioner Peterson?
Aye.
Commissioner Yeager?
Aye.
Chairwoman Schott?
Nay.
The motion is denied.
Mr. Horton, we're going to go to the next section, which is the comprehensive plan amendment.
Yes.
You have the floor.
essentially the comprehensive plan amendment is to basically bring these 4 properties under a designation of R3 instead of what they are now, village commercial. That would include 2710-000086, 2710-000087, 2701-000005, and 2709-0002. I think, the reason why we would do this comprehensive plan amendment would be to bring it into conformance with what we recommend that the zoning be. Of course, we've always wanted to get the comprehensive plan and the zoning aligned. The other thing I'd really say about the comprehensive plan is that apparently on the 2018 map, some area up in the area of the fountains showed to still be general commercial, where basically there's a motion on record that shows it being redesignated as village commercial. But, it seems like to me the Planning Commission may have made their decision on that already. But you do have a separate motion.
Mr. Horton,
On the table. Yes.
can I just pause your presentation?
Yes.
A clarification that was just brought to my attention, and I appreciate that. A failed motion to approve is not an approved motion to recommend against. So what we have to do is, since we didn't approve it, we will have to make another motion to deny the application, and then it will have to be voted accordingly. So, with that being said, do I have a motion to deny the application?
I'd like to make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Armentrout,
Aye.
Commissioner Hartley,
Aye.
Commissioner Hirsch,
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson,
Aye.
Commissioner Yeager,
No.
Chairwoman Schott.
Aye.
Motion is approved. The motion passes.
Thank you. Now, please proceed. Thank you.
All right. The application was advertised for public hearing in the Daily Press on February 4th and February 11th, 2026. Excuse me. Adjacent property owners were notified of this request by letters mailed on February 4th. Comprehensive Plan Amendment, that is. All stored properties designated as village commercial, and they're proposed to be redesignated as high-density residential. As I explained before, with the conditional use, the highest density residential district we have is the R3 district. So, again, it would be limited to 12 units per acre. Parcels bordered by village commercial comprehensive plan designation to the west and extreme northwest. General commercial designation across Alpha Street to the north, Poquoson Common Shopping Center and grassed area. General commercial designation for Langley Federal Credit Union and TJs respectively. An additional general commercial designation to the east and south. Above the southern boundary line of the two westernmost properties is an area of high density residential, and that's the Oxford Run LLC community. As we know, the site is going to be accessed directly from With Creek Road and Alpha Street. The comprehensive land use map, and this was what I was trying to explain before I got my PowerPoint up. In May 2012, resolution did redesignate this entire area as village commercial. Despite what the comprehensive map says. I think what likely happened is when the comprehensive plan map was revised, it just simply missed this resolution that came through. But anyway, this is the area in question, And this is sort of the longer view of it. And of course, you had the vicinity map that pretty much shows the properties involved. Unless there are any other questions, I'll take your questions.
Wally, can you refresh my memory on high-density residential?
High-density residential is a designation that we have in the comprehensive plan. The only thing high-density residential that we have currently on the books in the zoning ordinance is the R3 residential district, which is what Mr. Moses applied to go to tonight.
Okay.
And again, that's capped at 12 units per acre. There's open space requirements, as Mr. Moses pointed out. Of course, there's parking requirements as well. So when we say high density, we're perhaps not talking about New York or any bigger city where, you might have, any number of units crammed into an acre. Here we have a limit of 12.
I thought that would be helpful because people hear that.
Sure. Yes.
Questions? Questions? Thank you. Seeing no questions by planning commission, do I have a motion? And the comprehensive plan?
I'll make a motion to approve.
To approve?
Sure, madam, sorry.
I think,
Oh, go ahead.
I think if I understand that motion would be not to amend the comprehensive.
Right, the motion to approve will get, I don't know how many votes, or even if we're going to have a motion to approve it, and then we would do, as Ms. O'Connell suggested, we would disapprove it.
I was under the impression we were good with what we talked about here, so that's,
Okay.
yeah.
Just wanted to give you all
Yeah, sure, no problem. I've been under the weather for a while, so, excuse me.
Hey, I thought what we're talking about is amending the comprehensive plan to modify commercial to R3. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Chairwoman Schott, did you want to open the public hearing?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. You're keeping me on my toes. I'd like to open the public hearing this evening. Would anybody like to speak to this? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing.
So would it be appropriate to make a motion? All right, I'll offer a motion to approve.
So specifically, I think we thought was village commercial. We're amending it, village commercial to R3. Correct, right? That's what's on the floor.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Armentrout,
Nay.
Commissioner Hartley,
Hey,
Commissioner Hirsch,
Nay.
Commissioner Peterson,
Aye.
Commissioner Yeager,
Aye.
Chairwoman Schott.
Nay.
The motion is denied.
Seeing that motion, can I have a motion to deny the amendment to the comprehensive plan?
motion to deny.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Armentrout,
Aye.
Commissioner Hartley,
Aye.
Commissioner Hirsch,
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson,
Aye.
Commissioner Yeager,
Nay.
Chairwoman Schott.
Aye.
The motion passes.
Now we're going to move to item G in our communications and correspondence. Just for clarity, at home, we did take this out of order this evening to consider the amendments to the comp plan with the Legacy North project, as we're calling it. before this. So we are going to move into communications and correspondence by our Planning Commission this evening, and I'd like to start with Mr. Horton.
I don't really have anything tonight except to say that Taylor Stewart was approved by the City Council.
Welcome to the other end of the Planning Commission.
I have no comments, but thank you.
Comments?
No, good.
I'd just like to say that no matter what the issues are in front of us, it's always nice to see a full room in here and engagement from the community, so appreciate that.
Mr. Hartley?
I'd like to echo that. Thanks, everyone, for coming out.
Mr. Armentrout?
Wally, I would like to, one of the things that methods and means to advertise other than the daily press. I feel like I got to feel like a lot of people really didn't know what was out tonight, especially us. We just got this and we didn't even have a could have been better advertised. I don't know what those means. Kind of good stuff coming here in the next few days on social media. Anyway, this is my thoughts. Maybe we can explore another option.
Okay.
Critical as this.
We'll also have a work session next time we have something this size.
Thank those that came out this evening and, let your voices be heard. That's what we're here for and try to take into consideration. I appreciate you all serving alongside of me on Planning Commission and welcome Laura to the other side. With seeing no other comments this evening, I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Armentrout?
Aye.
Commissioner Hartley?
Aye.
Commissioner Hirsch? Commissioner Peterson?
Aye.
Commissioner Yeager?
Aye.
Chairwoman Schott?
Aye.
Motion passed.
We are adjourned.